Right, here we are then. Centre console, rat's nest, centre console. What I've got is a lot of bust up connectors and the worst corrosion on the entire loom. This was actually clumped behind the dash with a complete mouse nest behind it, so it suffered bad. Even these bull rollers aren't the best. Looking at them now, not the greatest. So I'm going to choose a point on here. I'm going to slice the whole lot because I've got another one of these looms. I'm going to go and get it now, and I'm just going to splice the whole lot in. This is just all over the place. See, when you get stuff like that, I've got to make the join right there. I don't know, it's not worth it. 2 seconds, I'll be right back. Told you I'd be back. 2 secs. Alright, a loom in better condition. Chopped, but in good nick. Just needs a clean at the end, that's all. Corrosion 0 on these connectors, all clean, saves a lot of messing about. So all we do, get the same length that I've just cut, find a good place to splice in. So we go from there, bunch this up, I follow it through. There's some damage, so we want to go beyond that point to the last part of the damage, which is just about halfway up. So it's cut and shut. I'll slightly stagger the cuts so that when it's harnessed they don't bunch together in a big group of heat shrink. Just stagger them or overlap them. When you come to wrap it, it's not as bulky. So I'm looking down the loom for the first point of damage, which is here. So now I'm going to cut the whole lot. Just make sure that that's all the same. Yes it is. Right, okay, ready. Cut out one piece damaged loom. Right, away we go. One cut, and it's gone. End of that. I'll keep it, but it's basically scrap. Chuck that out. And now the same, well, before I chuck it out, just get the right length. Not that it's mega critical. So this loom's over by that much, so I just want to re-put that loom down to about there. Straight through. Okay, we're done with that. Now unpick the harness tape. So we're unpicking. Slight change in music. I've had my rock phase for a bit. I just want something a bit more mellow now. I was getting a bit too hype on the rock. I was going a bit crazy on the rock. I just need to just chill out a bit. I've been very stressed with this job. I say stressed, not stressed where I've not enjoyed it, but I've been putting myself under some pressure. As you can see from the videos, the pace is pretty quick. And I've got to juggle that with a day job, I've got to juggle it with domestic life, social life, everything else. It's not all about the car, but it is about every spare hour I've got being utilised. And then that's because I've got to reach the deadline, you know. The deadline is to get it for the show season, so that's why I'm full on with it. Right, picking the cable, it can be any colour you want first. I'm going for black and white, red and white, which I think is the temperature readout. So I go red and white on this end. Simply a case now, just matching every cable to every one. You can see how bad this corrosion had spread. Look, that should be bright copper. Doubt you'll get a focus on this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, come on. Note to self, clean nails. It's not bright copper anyway, so the wires have corroded even that far up. They'll still solder, some of the others looking at them look alright. Right, so basically I'm not going to film this bit, it's just going to be me soldering. Let's see how many there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oh, 13. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, 13, unfortunately. 13 cables. Away we go. Soldering iron ready. Heat shrink ready. I'll just heat shrink and splice them all up, and I'll cut to you when they're all joined up like that. So we're joining that little lot together. Soldering job. Here we go. Right, little tip for you: if you've got tarnished cables, let me just get the camera to focus. Hold on. I'll just hold this object up so the camera will focus in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on. Right. Blackened and tarnished cable. You have to take my word that it is black and tarnished. Right, it's not going to show you, but hydrochloric acid on a cotton bud, and you can just swipe that black tarnish, comes straight off, the cable goes to bright copper, and now you're going to be able to get a good solder on there. You would not have soldered that as it was. It'll just go in blobs and all sorts. It just doesn't work. You've got to have clean wire. Forget trying to solder anything that's mucky, it will not go. Bright copper that now. Ready for a tip to take the tinning. So that's a little tip for you there. Just see what I'll do. I'll bring you around and show you. Sorry about this. There we go. See what I mean? Look at that one on the left, and look at, say, the one next to it there. See? That's just with hydrochloric acid. So that enables you to get it to solder properly, or else you end up with a mess. I'll show you one that didn't go because it was like that. Here, this one. That's an attempt to solder it, and that's what it'll do. Look at the one on my end of my finger there. Forget it. It's just a joke. So you've got to clean them up. Little tip for you there. Don't know if the camera's going to be any good here or not. Right, going for tin. I've got some chill out music on. I needed it. I don't know what BFBS is. I think it's something to do with the forces. There you are. Straight in for the tin. Right, I'm not going to film all 12 cables, but that's what you've got to do. And don't forget to put your heat shrink on the cable you're about to attach to. In this case, the brown cable sliding on. Ready to meet up. See you in a sec when that's all done. Right, guys, girls, I just want to show you a technique I use for keeping, when you're putting heat shrink on. I just want to show you a technique that I use, which is to tin one wire first and then leave the other wire untinned and wrap it around the tinned one like a spiral. It means you can do it one-handed. If you do them butt side to side, the heat shrink doesn't go over, and also it's you need two hands to do that. This way you can solder with, well, two hands, but you don't need to hold the wires. So I solder the first cable here, this one, and then once it's a solid core, wrap the strands of the unsoldered cable on it, and then solder the whole lot. And that's you can do that without having to hold both cables together, and it makes a good join too. Just a little tip. Alright, all joined and ready to heat shrink on, and then we can wire wrap that bad boy up top. It's a bit mucky at this end, but that's an easy clean. And then I'll connect the bulbs up and the gauges, and we'll see what happens on those gauges when we fire up the old dashboard. Right, the gauges are working. We're lighting up and we're moving. I've tested the fuel by shorting out the fuel sender down in the loom here, just by bridging that out quickly, not for too long, and the gauge shoots up. Done the same with the temperature. That's just on its way back down now after boosting it up. Amp gauge isn't working, but I think that's just because of the way the battery's not connected on the earth straps. There was an earth strap that amp meter picks up on, and that's the problem, it's not connected. So I'm not quite sure how that works, the amp gauge. I need to go and consult the book. I know that yellow wire is to do with it, and then it has an earth connection. It actually measures the voltage drop across the battery, so I need to work out where that hooks into until I can get that working properly. But we're lit up as well, we're illuminated, so the the side light circuit picks up, so that loom harness job has been a success, and that's a wrap for today. That makes up part 3 even. So now we have that harness, middle harness done, tested. Just remains to fit the special oil pressure switch in the middle there at the back. We get an adapter off there, bring the adapter off, we make up an adapter, we bring it off, it goes into the middle of the gauges there with a switch. That then gives you the gauge working, but also a switch which feeds back down this blue wire, which lights up the light on the dash there for our oil warning lamp, which served to fill in that hole that was I didn't have a hockey stick with a blanking hole, and I wanted an oil warning light anyway. So that's a wrap for this evening's work. That center console completes for this part of the section of the video. So we're almost done with the cabling now. We'll be wire wrapping this. I'm also going to build this into the loom, I decided, so we'll re-wrap that. This hasn't actually been wrapped, it's the original harness, but I can wrap that in. Okay, so that's nicely buried, it'll just come out very neatly there. Not that anyone's ever going to see it, but I'll know it's there and I'll know it's neat. So keeping the standard up for you guys and not letting you down. We're top standard all the way. Look at these lovely clean connectors, all contra lubed on and all clean, all new, all wrapped, all tidy. Your test stickers on there, everything. That harness is bang on the money. It's a lovely harness, that. Look at that. So we are getting there. Next job was going to be this aerial, building a subloom for this electric aerial. We'll take this and do some nice grey harness tape on that. We'll route it behind here, like that. I'm going to put it on a multi-plug. Oh, it's already on multi-plugs. We're okay. We're alright. We're okay. We're on multi-plug. I know you're all getting stressed then. Stay calm, everybody. It's okay. It's on multi-plugs. Just kidding, by the way. Stay calm. Yeah, it's all alright. So I can see you cringing in your seats there because that didn't have a multi-plug. Oh, it's the wrong part number. 71BBH4296274 is the wrong part number. They did not make electric aerials from Fords. Also, just answering your questions, everyone's been writing in about 71BBHF74892 not being available in grey for that year. Well, you're correct there. John from Everton writes in to say he noticed this rubber boot here being the wrong colour of rubber. Correct, John. There was a strike. Oops, correct, John. There was a strike at the Famoco factory. And they had to import the dye from an alternative supplier, so consequently it was a bit darker. Well spotted, John from Everton there on that rubber casing. Time to go to bed, I think. Good night, everybody. Good night. Quick fuel gauge sender test. Full tank, so that's right to the top. Float right up that way on the harness there. An earth tab to it because the harness actually hasn't got its earthing point there, so that gives me a full tank to the top. That's Swampy's full tank, and then we go down to half tank. There she goes. So a working gauge, which is good. That means I don't need to look to buy one of these. Okay, just a little one. I just thought on the way out then I'll just check it. Thank you and good night for that one. We'll see you in the next part. See you in the next episode part. Hasta la vista, baby.